Good evening, everyone. The COVID 19 pandemic is set to change the world sooner than we know. The way our governments, institutions, organizations, and people think and function will radically change, perhaps for the long term. Among many economic sectors, the higher education sector is undergoing a tectonic shift right now. What several futurists and education technologists have been forecasting for long is now happening. If there will ever be a time to rethink the nature of a college education, this is it. Billa Global University is rising up to this challenge through its innovation curriculum, hands-on global learning, expert faculty, and exclusive industry collaborations. In today's webinar, we will discuss with a team of our esteemed panelists about how the pandemic is changing the higher education scenario and how BGU is innovating to adapt to this crisis and make students ready for future careers and start their professional journeys. I, Snigdha Mahapatra, Professor OBHR at Birla Global University, have the pleasure of welcoming you all to this webinar. Let me first introduce our first panelist, Professor Pradipta Sanyal. Dr. Pradipta Kumar Sanyal is an associate professor and area head in finance and accounting at Billa Global University, Bhubaneswar. He is also the chairperson admission of this university. A first class first at his MCOM and MPhil degrees, specializing in the area of finance and accounting. Dr. Sanyal holds a PhD in management, specializing in financial management. He is currently pursuing his postdoc in management. He has over 20 years of experience in academic as well as a tax lawyer. Dr. Sanyal publishes research articles and presents research papers regularly at national and international conferences. His book, titled Indian Stock Market Volatility, published by Lambert Academic Publishing Germany, has been highly appreciated. His area of research includes behavioral finance and corporate finance. Today, Dr. Sanyal would be addressing the admission specific queries and providing an overview about Birla Global University. Now, let me introduce the second panelist, Professor Somnath Datta. Professor Somnath Datta blends 2 decades of experience in diverse roles, a strategic role in textile and petrochemical industry, as well as an academician. An engineer and a management professional educated at premier institutions like IIT Kharagpur, IIM Calcutta, XLRI, Professor Datta strives to contribute meaningfully as a teacher, a researcher, an institution builder, and a consultant. He has authored research papers and conference presentations at leading national and international platforms like Strategic Management Society, Washington, and ASB, Hyderabad. Professor Datta has regularly conducted management development and executive education programs for NGOs, government departments, private sector organizations, and also has experience of leading projects funded by international agencies like World Bank and UNICEF. He specializes in strategic management, responsible business, entrepreneurship, and innovations of emerging economic forms. He is currently the Area Head General Management of Billa Global University, and he will be joining us with Professor Pradipta Sanyal in today's discussion on the topic of higher education post COVID 19, or Boon or Bane. I would now request Professor Datta to initiate today's discussion. Sir, please.
Thank you, Professor Mahapatra, for the kind introduction. And I am told that there are around 200 plus people who have joined us for this webinar. And I welcome all of you on behalf of Billa Global University and the panel here today to today's discussion. I hope you all are safe and healthy, not just physically, but also emotionally. So the first message that we on behalf of Birla Global University want to send out to the people who are listening to us is, wherever you are, hang on. Civilization is going through a temporary setback. We will bounce back, and history has shown we always bounce back, right? So I know there is fear, there is confusion, but there is also a lot of reasons to be optimistic. So on that positive note, we start today's discussion, which is higher education post-COVID-19, boon or a bane. Now, let us not be confused about the title of the webinar. A virus cannot be a blessing. It can never be a boon. Come on, people are dying. Economy is in doldrums. So a virus is always a cause of distress. It can never be a blessing or a boon. So then why are we having this discussion? The discussion is to establish the context. I would like to remind you of something what John F. Kennedy had said. He had mentioned that the Chinese script, yes, you heard me right, the Chinese script, while writing the word crisis, uses two brush strokes. And why two? The first one is for danger, and the second one is for the opportunity that's associated with a crisis. So when we call COVID-19 to be a boon or a blessing for higher education, especially for India, we are highlighting or referring to the opportunities that are being opened for us, especially Indians, in the sector of higher education. Having said that, first, is COVID a crisis? Why is COVID a crisis? Well, any problem will become a crisis only and only when it threatens your very existence. So COVID is threatening our very existence. That's true. So COVID is a crisis. For all crises, you will see that there are three distinct phases. The first phase is the beginning of the crisis. Like in today's context, it would be like the lockdown period. In the lockdown period, safety and security is the primary concern. So we have stopped a lot of our activities, and we have locked ourselves home, and we are staying back. The entire world has come to a standstill because we are trying to make sense of this fluid situation. So this is the beginning of the crisis. And next comes the post-lockdown, maybe the 6 months to 1 year from the lockdown. This will be the time immediately after the crisis. And this is most important for majority of the participants of this webinar. Because this is the time we are trying to figure out what is it that we should do. There are so many questions coming in the mind of the students as well as the faculty. How do we address this crisis? And after that, 6 to 1 month of the crisis comes the end of the crisis, which may be 1 to 2 years down the 1 to 2 years after the crisis, when we define that period as the new normal, when things have stabilized, we have invented a vaccine maybe, and we have learned how to live with COVID. So in today's discussion, our focus area is not the new normal. It is mostly about what are we going to do after the lockdown. The 6 to 1 month immediately after the crisis, what is it that we should do? So for that, there is one observation here. we should remember, and that is, just a second. Yeah. So that's it. So it is not, we say that if you look at the PPT, that the slide that we have here, so we are lucky in the sense, we are in a crisis, but we are lucky. Why? Because just think of it, if COVID-19 had attacked us 50 or 60 years back, think of 1920 when there was the last pandemic that the world saw, that is the bubonic plague. So in that time, forget about a cell phone, there was no telephone even. There was no social media. We did not have any ways to communicate. But right now, 1990, we had started taking online classes. Satellite courses were there before COVID. We had distance learning, artificial intelligence was there, and we were experimenting into blended learning. A lot of universities already had started online courses. So it is not like that we did not know how to swim and COVID pushed us in the middle of the sea and we went down plonk, sinking. So we were more like, we all know a little bit of how to swim, and we all know maybe we don't have a big boat, we have a small raft, and we are right now trying to survive. We are testing waters. This is where we are right now. And with time, when we realize what is the real nature of COVID, maybe someday, 2 years down the line, we will build a luxury liner on which we will safely and easily tide over this pandemic, this flood of this pandemic. So right now, where are we? We are discussing the middle or immediately after lockdown period. Now here, do we have, if you ask me, do we have answers, the right answers about how will the new normal or post-COVID situation be like? We don't have any answers. We don't have any concrete answers. When we say we, I mean all the people who are conducting thousands of webinars out there. Mankind does not have a clear-cut answer. So when you don't have an answer, what you do is ensure that you ask the right questions. And this is very important. We all should, whether if we are a student or a faculty or a housewife or a businessman, we should ask us the 4 questions which are very, very important. The first, after crisis, after COVID, what has become redundant? What are those things that has remained unaffected? What has become more important? And what is it that is new? Now, to answer these questions, what you will have to do is, first, what you will have to do is to answer these questions, you will have to consider yourself as a product. In pure marketing terms, we all have a particular value proposition. Even in any social or economic transaction, we have, each one values us because of certain assumptions. So we had certain assumptions that if you have this particular skill or this particular capability, people will be valuing you. So as a student, industry will be valuing you if you had these capability, these skills, these qualities. But before COVID, those assumptions, those things that makes you valuable will not remain the same after COVID. So this is where you ask the question, what are those skills and qualities that has become redundant? What are those which has become more important, there will be some which has become less important, and there will be some skills or qualities which are completely new. And what do you do? Once you have identified these things, what do you do? The 4 right actions after you have identified what are those things that I'm giving you, the 4 things, what would you do? You would stop or postpone things that has become redundant. You will continue certain things that is remain the same. You will upskill. You have a particular level of skill for certain things, but since the importance has gone up, you will develop your skills there. And if there is some skill that has become very important and new and vital, invest on that. Learn those skills so that your value proposition is aligned to the new normal, right? So now, how will I get this answer? I have asked the 4 basic questions. I know what to do. How do I know that I'm doing it right? So for that, the answer would be design thinking, a concept called design thinking. What is this? This is again an old concept. 1990s or even before, people have been talking about it. Design thinking involves 5 basic processes. The first process, which is the most important thing, that is empathy, not sympathy. So what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? Empathy would make you put yourself in the shoes of your customer. So an institute should put themselves in the shoes of the student and find out what is the problem with the student. Why is the student not attending class? Why is he not joining our course? And think of the solution from his terms. Define the problems. Define the points that is paining the student. Define the points which the students will feel that they're getting a gain. Define the jobs that is to be done. Once you have defined that, try to find out solution, ideate. Make a prototype, go back to the market, test it. Sometimes, or most of the times, it will fail. It can fail, it will not. It is very lucky, you will be very lucky if it works the first time. Most of the time it fails. Then go back, resilience. So what is the major quality that will keep you driving during this pandemic or the new normal? First, whenever you are faced with a problem, treat it with empathy. Follow the design thinking principles. So what we have said, ask the 4 right questions, find out what is it that you will have to continue, what is it that you will have to start, what is it that you will have to upskill yourself, and what is it that you will have to stop, right? Now, talking about the context of higher education, we do have 4 basic building blocks. So we have the faculty, the person who will be delivering, who will be teaching, the student who will be taught, the content, what will be taught, and last but not the least, the teaching environment. The environment in which all these 3 people, the faculty, the content, and the student is. Now, what has happened post-COVID? Right now, if you look at this, what has happened to the context? Previously, what used to happen is the faculty and the student, they would be all in the same room, in the same campus. Right now, what has happened? The faculty can be 500 kilometers away from the student and still take a task. The student can take a class, can attend a class synchronously, that is real time, or he can attend, the faculty has shared a YouTube link or a blog post, he can do it in maybe later when he is free, so flexi time. So one of the major things that has happened to the context or the environment of education is, 1, you are free from the shackles of time and geographical barrier. That is a fantastic thing. That is a fantastic thing, provided you use it rightly, provided the other environmental support is there. What are the other environmental supports? The policy or the political, the economic, social, technical, environmental, legal. So just very quickly, why policies will be important. So there should be these online courses. Suppose we design a course which is delivered absolutely online. Will it be accepted by UGC or AICT? What will be the legal norms? Economic, what will be the financial implication? Will banks give loans at a higher interest rate or a lower interest rate for education loan for an online course? What will be their policy? Social norms. So suppose there is a senior of mine who has done a course, full-time course in Harvard by being a residential student. And I have done the same course from the same Ivy League college, but I did it online. Socially, will we be accepted as the same, or online will be looked down upon as the second son of the regular education? Will it be looked down upon? How will society look at this way of a way of taking class, this way of education? Technical, we all know. Now, here is an interesting point. See, previously, what used to happen is students were more interested in the infrastructure of the university. So now, a university may have a fantastic infrastructure. It may have even a 5G internet connection, broadband, everything. But what matters is the student out there in his home, the kind of internet bandwidth that he has is important. What the university's infrastructure is no longer important. What is important is what is it that the student can access, right? So how has things changed from being a university or an institute or a curriculum-centric way of thinking? The entire higher education has been shifted to student or learner-centric. So that is a good news for students. People will now reach out to students and try to empower you. Then only this model will work. Environmental issues, we all know, we all have to social distancing, mask, we have to wear masks, all those things will be there. There will be more environmental norms, stringent norms, things we can do, we cannot do. And legal, what about the credit system? So another thing, our target audience would be lucky in the sense for social science and management and commerce and education, practical work does not need the use of all 5 senses that much. But think of a surgeon who has never touched a human body, who is a chemist who has never smelt a chemical, or a doctor who has not tasted a medicine. Will you allow such a doctor who has done his entire course through augmented reality or virtual reality, will you allow such a doctor to operate on you? What will be the legal system? So that is important. So what we have seen, the entire context of higher education has changed, and it has to. Now, right now, we are moving in a direction. We cannot continue with all those old policies that we have, all those norms, economic, social, technical, environmental, legal norms that we had earlier. That has to change. Now, talking about the content. See, we have been talking about Industry 4.0. So moving from, it has been long. It's before COVID, the industry was complaining that we have thousands of even PhDs, MBAs, and engineers coming out, especially in India, but the employability of more than 90% of them is not there. It's zero. That was worrying the industry. And now what has happened? Now industry is in a position to ask education, higher education, to deliver them people who have a outcome-based or a skill-based curriculum. A person who is, it is not important that you have a first-class degree. What is important is, can you apply, can you add a value? So all the curriculum will now change, will have a more inclination towards outcome-based learning and skill-based learning. There would be a collaboration. with industry. You have to use empathy towards the industry and ask them, what is it that you want? And train the students accordingly. This is how the content has to change. So collaborative work. And previously we had this set this is a BBA degree will have just this. MBA degree will have just this. We had very fixed silo kind of education system. Now students will be allowed to choose, do a credit course. So maybe a management student can take a course in law or some other facility. So those things will come. For the faculty, they will continue to engage, elaborate. There are 5 E's that a faculty does. They'll continue to engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and obviously, last but not the least, evaluate. Again, evaluation. How do I know that no unfair means for an online test? How do I know that there are no unfair means that are being tested? Can I engage? I was a good faculty earlier. In a real-time class, I could engage. But can I engage in an online class? Do I have the necessary skills to do that? So the faculty has to change themselves according to the requirements of the current situation. Last but not the least comes the student. There are 4 things, students, that you must upgrade yourself. You should be able to engage yourself. Remember, engaging in an online class is difficult. And so, digital fatigue is tremendous. Looking at a screen and staying there for more than 20 minutes causes an immense amount of stress or fatigue. So engaging, you have to practice yourself so that you engage with the professor. You will have to develop your skills of collaboration, of reflecting. So if something is taught online, you should ask back, you reflect, and then share. So these 4 things, engaging, collaborating, reflecting, and sharing, would be the key skills that a student should have. Now, coming back to the topic that is of interest to you, but before we get into that, very quickly we will try to answer these questions. There are many students who have asked us, sir, should I go for an MBA or a higher education this year, or should I wait for the pandemic to stabilize and maybe next year? So for that, I have only one answer. The people who were the existing workforce in the world are not trained for the new normal. The new batch of students who are getting into higher education will be the first batch of people who will be trained to cope up with these kind of situation. So this is an opportunity for you. Don't miss it. The competition would be less here. The government will be more lenient. Financial institutions will be more lenient, because this is the time when the government, the entire world is trying to invest in higher education to get the economy out. So you will be lucky to join a higher education course this year. So that would be a smart decision. If you stay back, then when things get normal, a new batch of students will come and the competition will go up. So that is there. So it would be smart if you join, if you are planning for an higher education, join now. This is the opportunity. Join the wave. And now for joining, how will you know that which institute to join? So there are many ways of identifying, but these are 7 key points. So students, whenever you look at any university, look for these 7 things. 1, equity. Equity means, does the course give you a kind of a brand equity? Is it accepted by UGC or AICT? How is its acceptability in the market? Does the industry accept it? Second is, wherever you are, can you access it? So this university may have a fantastic infrastructure there, but in your village or wherever you are, do you have the infrastructure to access it? Third, can you afford it? Fourth, is the syllabus learning and outcome driven? Fifth, is the syllabus flexible? Can I do a part of is the methodology of teaching or pedagogy blended? Is there resilience? This is very, very important. Resilience means if there is a failure in design thinking, if things fail, can they bounce back? Can they quickly adjust the mistakes and come up with a better solution? Are they upgrading themselves? Last but not the least, do they have a brand name, an intention to invest and sustain? So these 7 things are very, very important for you when you look at an institution, look at all the curriculum, the way the entire university is working, and find out if these 7 things are there. If it is there, then these are the signs of being a COVID-19 ready institute. We at Billa Global University follow this. And right now, I would ask Dr. Sanyal to mention about the opportunities that Billa Global University have for you. And if we have questions, we are taking questions in the chat box, and we'll be happy to answer to your queries. Thank you so much, and over to Dr. Sanyal.
Thank you very much, sir. This is Dr. Pradeep Kumar Sanyal. I'm very much thankful to Professor Somnath Datta sir for his insight into the details of COVID-19, how higher education is ready or how university institutions are ready to overcome this situation. Now, I really appreciate all the participants today. I can see many students as well as many professors have joined us, and I'm also looking into the questions. Now, let me first try to understand how we look into the higher education system. Now, if we talk about higher education, we essentially mean that the education we start from colleges or university level. Before that, we have a higher secondary education and secondary education. Now, if I divide the whole higher education system, we essentially fall into 3 categories. First one is a graduation. Then once we are graduating, we are going or moving towards post-graduation. And after completing post-graduation, we move into PhD program if we are interested to do a PhD, and if our objective is to do PhD and then getting into the academics and all. Now, the challenges are very huge because of the COVID situation. Now, this is very much unexpected, and we need to handle this situation. Now, I'll come back to the Billa Global University and whether Billa Global University is equipped enough to handle this situation or not. Let's first understand what is this transition is all about. Now, till date, we have something which is known as face-to-face education, where students are there in the classroom and faculty teaches, and then these things goes like that. But we are into a transition where things may not be possible in the way it was or it had been. Now we need to think what way we can come out of this situation. So Datta sir has already suggested different scenarios how to come out of this situation. Essentially, we are heading towards something which is called a hybrid teaching methodology. Now, in a hybrid teaching methodology, we can understand something which is face-to-face and also online teaching. Now, I can understand students are stuck with their final year examination, whether we talk about 10+2 examination or the final year graduation examination. And we are all looking forward to complete all this examination, and then we probably be looking forward to get admission into different university colleges for our further learning and further programs. Now, how at Billa Global University are planning to carry on these things after this COVID situation, or let's say after month of July when the new academic session is going to start. As all of you must be aware that UGC guidelines and AICTE guidelines, suggesting that things will be commencing probably in the month of August, and the best way to be in the month of September. So we have the same plan. We are, as a university, we need to go as per the guidelines of the UGC and to a certain extent to AICTE also. So in that way, what we are figuring out in terms of our first academic session that is going to be going to start around, let's say, August or September. So what we have planned is that probably we are going ahead with the digital or online classes if things will not be sorting out. If things would be normalizing to a certain extent, in that case, we probably will have a hybrid system of teaching. In that way, some of the classes will be face to face and some of the classes would be online. So we need to figure it out that in what way we can best provide to the students, and student would be benefiting out of it. Now, those students who are preparing for the final examination, whether it's a 10+2 examination or graduation examination, my best wishes are with them. Concentrate and try to find out in what way you can be successful and getting a good marks out of it. Because at Billa Global University, we appreciate students who are academically very good. Now, we have, if you look into the Billa Global University, now we have different schools. We have 5 schools at this point of time, which essentially is School of Management, School of Commerce, School of Economics, School of Law, and School of Journalism. Now we have both master degree programs and the bachelor degree program for all the schools. At this point of time, we offer PhD under School of Management and School of Economics, and we are planning to offer PhD under School of Commerce also. Now, somebody has asked one question before I go into the other details of Billa Global University. Let me address this question, otherwise I'll maybe forgetting this question. So somebody has asked, some professor I believe has asked, one thing is that how to handle this PhD program and all. Now, I'll be very brief in detail in elaborating how you can handle the PhD. See, PhD program, if you are a full-time PhD program or in a part-time PhD program or a regular PhD program, only thing is that you need to do a lot of literature survey. That is one of the very important thing in PhD program, going with the literatures. You may download the literatures from different sources. We have different sources to download the literatures. The other thing you can do is that you can go to Sodhganga and download many literatures, many PhD theses, and go through those things. But you only download those things which are very relevant to your PhD title or PhD program. Don't download anything which is not irrelevant or which is not made for you. So try to zero down what is your PhD topic, and accordingly you can download the PhD literatures from different sources, including Sodhganga. Now, this is one thing I just wanted to share with you. And one more question that is very important nowadays is that what is the value addition courses we can do? And in Billa Global University, we are very much into that. We encourage students to do certification program from different university. And whether you believe it or not, we have been encouraging our students to enroll to Coursera. Is one of the platforms through which you can get certificate from different university, and some of the courses are free of cost, some of the courses are chargeable. You can figure out which course would be made for you and which course is free of cost, so that you can do it and you can get a certificate from international university, and that would be a very good value addition for your career. If you do 3-4 courses, that would be a great value addition. Now, coming back to this, these 2 things I thought I should share with you. Now, coming back to the Billa Global University, as I have given the understanding what are the schools we have. We have 5 schools, as I said, and we have master degree and bachelor degree program under each school. Now, Billa Global University is being founded by Sri Basant Kumar Birla ji, and it is located at Bhubaneswar. In comparison to the other university at Bhubaneswar, this is relatively a new university. but it has created its own brand name in Odisha and across other states also. So those who are interested to apply for Billa Global University can always visit the website www.bgu.ac.in. Now, if you have any specific queries related to any information related to Billa Global University, whether you talk about courses, whether you talk about any infrastructure facility, faculty members, and etc., you can always go through this website, and you can always drop a mail to admission@bgu.ac.in. Now, these are the couple of slides that I'll be sharing with all of you. And then one more thing that I got to know is that the location of Billa Global University, as I said, Billa Global University is located at Bhubaneswar. And it is an university which is being enacted by Billa Global University Act 2015. Odisha Legislative Assembly has given this permission to set up this university at Bhubaneswar. Now, this university is recognized by UGC, and we have certain association membership with membership of Association of Indian University, All India Institute, All India Management Association, then Confederation of Indian Industry, and we are looking forward to have more collaboration, more association with other university, other institutions also for different programs and all. Now, these are the schools that I have already given impression about the schools that we have. We also have a law school which is offering BBLLB at this point of time, and we are looking forward to add the Master in Law, that is LLM program, probably in the next year. We are planning to have this. So these are the sort of number of seats we are available. All these informations are very much available with our website. So as I said, please visit our website to get a good understanding about the Billa Global University. So we have faculty who are academically very good and also having experience not only from academics, also from industry. So the list of faculties, the informations are also available on the website. You can always visit and you can be in touch with our admission team at admission@bgu.ac.in. So get the details about the Billa Global University and other information related to academics and all. We have tie-up with the different institution, university at different countries. As you can see on the screen, we have certain tie-ups, and we are looking forward to have more tie-ups with universities so that we already have some student exchange program, faculty exchange program, and we are looking forward to add more into it so that we can send our faculty and student to different countries for better exposure. Now, we have a CSR conduit where different things are being conducted by our CSR team. The most important in Billa Global University is that everything is student driven. So only faculty members or the administrators are there to guide you, but everything is being driven by the students. Their mentors are there. Student will conduct all the things that are being initiated by the university. So CSR is one of that. Like that, we have food conduit, we have social media conduit, we have other conduit, sports conduit. So each and everything is being initiated by the student, and faculty members are there to guide you only. We have a good library facility. It's a big library, and you can get different books from different all the schools that we have. Even we purchase books which are very much relevant for the students who are getting enrolled into our programs. Now, these are the details of the books that we have. Okay, so all these are available at the website. So I don't want to go into the details of it. Whoever is interested, go in as I suggested. Please visit our website, so you'll get a lot of information. Okay. Now, these are the batch strength. As I said, we started in the year 2015. Previously, it was BIMTech Bhubaneswar. And after that, as we got the permission from Government of Odisha, the BIMTech Bhubaneswar got renamed as Billa Global University. Now, this is about the Billa Global University. a small introduction about Billa Global University. Now, there are a couple of courses been asked whether those courses are available or not. Education, we have not started with education. We are planning to do it, and uh, the more courses will be add on, more schools will be add on in the near future. So this is a very brief introduction about the Billa Global University. Before I close, I just wanted to share a very relevant information is that Billa Global University always equipped with the new challenges. What are the challenges are coming up like online teaching and all? All faculty members are equipped to take care of all the online classes and etc. Now we are planning to start the session most probably in the month of August. Now we need to see how UGC is going to take care of all the regulation and all. If the UGC is going to say like we can start in the month of July, we can also start in the month of July. But at this point of time, going with the notification being given by the UGC, we are probably going to start the session by August 2020. And we are very much positive about this session that I believe that by July 2020 everything will be normalized and we will have a fair session. We will be starting a pre-academic session somewhere in the month of August, or maybe by max to max by September 2020. So thank you very much. This is Dr. Pradipta Kumar Sanyal from Billa Global University. Thank you very much. We will be addressing the queries we have. We have received a couple of questions, and we will like to get more questions if you have any questions. So we'll be moving towards this question answer session. So I appreciate if you post your questions. Thank you very much.
So here I would like to add on to what Dr. Sanyal was mentioning while answering the question about a PhD. See, if you look at the post-COVID world, there will be three types of institutes. So there will be one institute which is digitally new. That is, these people have never got into anything online, or they have not done anything which is into, say, digital kind of things. They were using the traditional things. The second group of people would be these institutes are half and half, kind of using a blended technology, way of a blended pedagogy. So like Birla Global University, as a rule, even before COVID, 20% of all our classes had some digital components. We were already using things like MOOC. That was compulsory. In fact, we still have a collaboration. This is something very interesting. We have a collaboration with the National Entrepreneurship Network, that is NEN Wadhwani Foundation, where the entire basic course and advanced course of entrepreneurship is being taught on the MOOCs platform of LearnWise. So we were already doing such things parallelly to the normal classes. And the third type of students that we will have, institutes that we will have, are those who have already floated online courses, who are rigidly into the process of taking digital things. So as a student, which are the institutes that you should join? Do not try to join an institute which is digitally new. Neither joining an institute which is already frozen into online courses and online, do not try joining there. That won't be a prudent decision. Why? Because remember, this is a very flexible time. People who are already into an online course, if they have frozen that, when changes come, UGC directives and all those things come, it will be difficult for them to change. For an institute which is half and half into this, the flexibility will be more. So watch out for those institutes who were already partially into digital teaching before COVID. So now they will be more agile into adapting these things. And for PhD, First part of it is coursework. Then there is, as Sanyal sir rightly pointed out, literature survey. For literature survey, online is the best way. We have a huge digital library. You can access that and you can do it from the desktop. For field research also, things like Google Forms are already available. Our students are already doing marketing research or some kind of projects, online field work. They're doing it through online depth interview or Google Forms. That is possible. And by the time, if you need something, observing something social, by the time you get to that stage, I guess we will be entering the new normal and things would have been stabilized and you will be able to go out in the field and conduct face-to-face AI. So don't worry, PhD can be done. You can always start your PhD at this period. We are ready for it. And yes, is there any other question that Sanyal sir, would you like to, is there any question directly with you?
Uh, I'm I'm getting one more questions, which is very relevant, I believe. That some of you have asked how to go about a career once you complete 10 plus 2. Now, my understanding is that there are two things you need to understand before you join any course at the graduation level. First one is your interest and how you are going to excel through that particular course. Suppose now everything, if you are very much, everybody nowadays are very much into job and all. So I need to have some course which is essentially be landing with a good job. So I need to plan something at the graduation level, which essentially or eventually will become a good course and I will end up with a good job. So my understanding is that whoever is essentially take admission into graduation program, let's say BA, BCom, BBA, B Economics, BBLLB, try to figure out those courses which are having high potentiality to get a job. So try to figure out, because if you are doing a job or if you are doing a course which is not having potentiality to get into a good job, so my suggestion is that don't do that particular course. So when you are choosing a course, first thing is that you need to have the interest level, whether you are interested for that course or not, and what is that course is all about, whether the course is going to give you a certificate only or whether a course is going to give you a certificate plus some amount of job opportunity. So when you are planning to enroll for a program, try to figure out that what would be the future of this program, how I'm going to, once I complete my graduation, what would be my next step, what would be the post graduation. If you are not doing, everybody is not going for PhD program, so somebody will end up his or her education at a post graduation level. So what would be the post graduation, what would be the post graduation that I'll be doing. So this is very important. At the undergraduate level, you need to find out which course are very relevant, industry friendly, employment generation courses. These courses are very, very important. One more thing that I am getting a question to that is like, what would be the value addition courses BU is offering at the graduation level and undergraduate level also. Now, when we talk about value addition courses, there are certain certification programs we are offering to the students. And along with that, we are also motivating students for higher education or the post graduation. Like if you are planning to do an MBA, you will be given the CAT exam, CAT tutorial or math tutorial, banking tutorial. Suppose if you are an aspirant for banking job, in that case, BGU is or BGU provides the opportunity to go for your banking examination, how to crack banking examination. As far as the certification programs are concerned, we are also planning to tie up with these platforms like Coursera to provide additional courses to you, certification programs to you, so that it will be a value addition to your CV, or when you will be if you will be attending any job or any placement, then this certification program will be very important, and it will be very value addition to your CV. So this is not only meant for undergraduate program, this is also meant for the postgraduate program. So this is what I got this question, these two questions. So if you have any more questions, you can post, so that we'll be happy to answer your questions.
So I have a question that has been raised here. I have been, so there are many people who are asking, and we have this kind of a notion that post-COVID, the only course that you should do is digital marketing or anything that has got with digital. So please understand, what has changed is only the platform of delivery. We will still need a civil engineer, we will still need lawyers, we will still need accountants. All that you have to do is an accountant with the skills of delivering in this world of online transaction. So, if you have an interest in any particular stream, go ahead and do it. But parallelly, you should, these are certain things, as I said, you should keep two things in mind. Getting a certificate is not enough. So many people are asking, shall I get a certificate for this? We can give you a certificate, but what is the output of that? How will you apply this knowledge? If you can apply this knowledge, that will be 1,000 times better than a paper or a digital certificate that you get. Don't go buy a piece of paper, go buy the equity or the recognition of the course or the certificate. Second, what Sanyal sir rightly pointed out, if listen to your heart, do you have an interest of doing that? Don't jump into digital marketing because that way you think that will be the in thing. You are an accountant at heart, you are a lawyer at heart. Pursue your dream, but parallelly hone your skills, take multiple courses from the online world, make yourself digital ready. That will be enough. And if there are any questions, any other questions, we are open to it. For basic questions like about our college, about our infrastructure, you can always go to our website, that is www.bgu.ac.in. The entire host of information is there. You can also put in a query there, and then we can send you mails, personalized, customized answers to your query straight into your inbox. We have a dedicated team of the admission department waiting for your queries to help you out. Sanyal sir?
Yeah, so I believe that no fresh question have popped up. So I think we have addressed all the questions, all the queries. Now, if somebody has more questions or more queries, you can always post. We are still here. Now, somebody has asked, sir, please suggest some short-term courses for commerce student for skill development. As we have already elaborated, like there are certain programs which are being offered by BGU in collaboration with other university, and also we are trying to provide you courses like how to qualify CAT, how to prepare for your, if you are planning to do suppose charter accountancy or cost accountancy. So in that case, BGU is also providing those courses, tutorials. And if you are planning to go into banking, as I said earlier also, if you're planning to get into banks and all, BGU is also providing the coaching classes for bank examination, how to crack bank examination, how to crack CAT, how to crack MAT examination, and how to score better in MAT, CAT examination, JAT examination. So these facilities are all already there. So as far as the skill development is concerned at undergraduate level, as I said, it is always good to go for a good number of certificates. May not be like 5, 6, 7, at least 2, 3 certificate during your BCom would be a great validation to your CV. So we will provide all the opportunity. Even if you are not joining, this is not supposed to be done only with the BGU. You can also do it from at your level, also at your end also. You can enroll for a couple of courses which are being provided by good platform. Only our suggestion is that only enroll with a good platform. Don't go with certain platform which are not recognized by neither university nor institution, not UGC, not AICT. So you should have a valid certificate. So when you will be presenting those certificates, that will be the accepted. Otherwise, your certificate and your labor would be a very wasted kind of thing. So you need to figure out which platform would be an authentic platform, so that you can essentially get a good certificate and a good learning. Now, I believe that almost we have answered all the questions being posted by the students and the faculty members. As Sarna sir has rightly said, that if you have any still further queries, you can always get back to us through our email ID, and you can post queries. We have a facility at our website. You can post the queries at our website also. We can take the queries and revert back to you as early as possible.
Yeah. So it was a pleasure sharing our whatever experience we have talking to you. We have a huge response. There were many questions coming in, and we have tried to take them. I'm sure you have other questions also. Feel free to ask us, and we'll be there to help. At your service from the Billa Global University, we wish all of you a fantastic staying healthy, and you should be emotionally sound. Please do not lose sanity. Developing skill is fine. Do not be stressed. Relax. Good things are coming. We will end on an optimistic note. Thank you so much, and we will meet again, hopefully in Bhubaneswar at the BGU campus. Thank you, Sanyal sir. This is
before we close, the certain suggestion from my end also. I always appreciate and thankful to the participant for participating and giving us the questions and all. As we said, that we are eager to get more questions on Billa Global University, on not only related to Billa Global University. Anything you want to know related to academics, we will be eager to answer those questions. Now, before I close, my best wishes to all of the participants, and stay safe, stay at home, take care of all the things which are required to be taken care of at this COVID situation. We are into a very critical situation. So stay safe, stay with your family, stay at home. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Pradipta Kumar Sanyal and Professor Somnath sir signing out from Billa Global University. Have a great day and have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to thank all of you, Somnath sir, Pradipta sir, and Susanna for a wonderful session. And let's just close this webinar. I request all the panelists to leave. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.